Are you tired of struggling to gain subscribers on YouTube? Well, get ready to unlock the secrets of the Shorts algorithm with us. Today's video, I will reveal the most up-to-date insights and techniques to skyrocket your subscriber count in 2024 and however long you choose to keep it going. I will equip you with the knowledge that you need to appeal to your audience and that algorithm. So stay tuned as we're live for Hacks and Secrets Revealed, because I am going to share some great stuff with you.
Welcome to Content Creators Connect. Here we're all about encouraging the 3 C's: connecting with others via video, content development that builds your personal brand, and creators sharing their experiences despite their distance.
And the C3 team member leading this evening is Manny. This guy right on over here, also known as Coach Manny. He is coaching us up in the world of social media marketing, as well as pursuing his passion for streaming true crime.
My friends, I am so excited to be here. But before we dive into it, I do have a unplanned question for you. Do you really wonder, is this YouTube Shorts for real? Is it actually helping channels grow their subscriber base? Honestly, guys, do you ask yourself that question?
Actually, I do all the time because I want to get them engaged and sort of hook them in and get them to subscribe to get more of the content. Like, even though the shorts are like a minute long, hopefully it builds something within them that will get them to click on that subscribe, or at least go over to the channel and see what other kind of content that you do have that may help explain more than just a 1 minute short form type of thing. So yeah, it definitely is of interest to me. So what about you, Dory? Have you ever had that question pop in your mind?
I've actually thought a lot about shorts. Haven't acted on those thoughts, but I've had those thoughts. And I think my biggest thought, my biggest concern and question is it worth the ROI? Is there a return on investment? Because I love live video because I don't have the time to edit. And I look at shorts as pre-produced content that I have to edit to get it, you know, spatially in the 9:16 vertical, fitting into that 60-second or 90-second, depending on what platform you're on. And to me, I want to make sure that I have a good ROI, that if I'm going to invest my time in this, there is an actual reason and a benefit for doing it. So hopefully, all of those questions and more will be answered tonight. But before we get to the content, if this is the type of content that you would like to see more of, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell, ding, da, ding, so that you get notified whenever we go live.
Thank you, my friends. And give me 1 second, because I know I'm going to get fired up here. I know I'm going to end up sweating up a storm because I'm super excited about what we are going to bring you tonight. And here is why. I'm going to be completely forthcoming, honest, and to be completely transparent, what Dory just said as to her reason why she doesn't know how she feels about it, that's why the majority, probably 80% of my content is live content, because I do not have time for that editing stuff. And if I did make time for it, it takes that many more days to get it up, which I'd rather be on another piece of content and just work on getting better and better. So if you look at my channel, it is definitely filled with, the last time I did a recorded video, like an actual story, it's probably been a number of months. But that leads me to what we are going to talk about. Because what I have found with this little different way that I've taken a different approach to my content is it's helped me get more subscribers. My channel's monetized, which means, yes, I am having a return on investment. But I'm going to tell you what, right now it's pennies on the dollar, pretty much, right? So if I'm getting millions of views, no problem, right? Then it's probably going to be looked at in the dollar sign. At this stage, this is not my money maker. It just makes me money. But at the same time, what I do focus a lot on is subscribers, because subscribers are buying into my content. Subscribers are buying into me. They like the way I present my content, or the way I present content in general. And so for that, they have become a part of it. But at the same time, I see subscribers drop off. I don't know who's dropping off, but it drops off. I also notice when I'm more consistent, and that word came up with Kevin a little earlier about consistency. When I'm more consistent creating content, I see it in my views. I see it in my subs. I don't have a channel that can, keep growing without effort. I don't know what that looks like. To me, it doesn't make sense, to be honest with you, because your audience is waiting for you to keep bringing content. They subscribed for content. And so that's exactly what I want to share with you over the next 15 minutes is how can you use YouTube Shorts to help you grow your channel? Well, I'm going to give you fact-based examples myself, or should I say my true crime channel, right? I'm going to also share with you some things that I have done to help the growth go a little bit faster. And so stay with me, because we'll be going over to some slides to give you some visuals as to if you want to take notes, right? I always have my notepad in front of me because you never know, right? So you're definitely going to want to take notes, but at the same time, you're going to want to pay attention. And so the first thing I want to talk about is this YouTube Shorts thing. Okay. So I'm going to go over to YouTube Shorts, and on YouTube, I'm going to share my screen. I haven't shared this one yet, so I have to change that. I actually got to change that. I did. Let's do that there. And then, okay. So right now, I am
Oh,
on YouTube Shorts. I'm sorry, I'm on YouTube. Okay. As you can see with at the very top where my vidIQ is, let's see if I'll block that so you can kind of get a visual of where I'm pointing at. You can see over the last 48 hours, my channel has almost 10,000 views. Okay. In the last 60 minutes, 22. That number's been anywhere from 77 views in 60 minutes. And the last 48 hours has been as high as 10,000 actually. But I want to share with you some of what has helped that. Now, my channel every single day gets a lot of views, but at the same time, there's been something that's been happening to help with that growth a little bit faster. And it's been a little bit of a
So what are
focus
natural
more
ways?
on YouTube Shorts. And this is a prime example of where I want to kind of dive into as to what's helping these type of channels get so much, right? 30,000 likes, but at the same time, let me stop my share real quick. At the same time, I definitely want to be completely understanding. Do your best to not compare yourself to other people. For example, that one right there just had 30,000 likes, right? But how many subscribers does it have? You see why I like to focus on subscribers? I don't really know, but looking at it now, 292,000 subscribers. It doesn't have 5,500 like me, right? It's a lot longer. It has 1,300 videos. It's not a new channel. So you gotta be careful how much you want to compare yourself. I love to be authentic with you, right? Yes, I look at other true crime channels and I'm like, my content's pretty much the same. But they've built their loyal fan base, their loyal subscriber base, their loyal followers. All it takes is that few, right? For it to really start rolling. Now, when I set out on my channel, when I started a new channel 2 years ago, I said, if I average 1,000 subscribers a year, I'm good with that because this is a long-term thing, right? It's a side gig. It's not a main thing. Basically a side hustle for the most part, right? And so through that, let's make sure I am through that process, I think it's extremely critical that you're honest with yourself and the expectations that you set for yourself, right? For me, it's a long term. For you, if you're doing this, I see true crime creators come, they put out some videos, one video does great, they think everything's going to be that great. No, it takes more time. Okay. Some do it. Some they get the right story, they run with the right story, and it takes off, right? And then a lot of people get to see that they are subscribed to someone they like, someone they know, someone they trust. So it's not a short-term process. That's the number one thing I want to dive into before we get into it. Okay, so with that being said, let me move over there. First thing you want to do, okay, is you have to be prepared to, hold on a second, make sure I got the right thing there. There we go. You want
we
to
don't
be
have your
prepared.
screen, Manny.
I'm getting there. I'm sorry. You
Oh,
want
okay.
to be prepared to hook them in. How do you hook them in? This is very critical that I think myself at one time am guilty of. You know, it's so easy to just put content up and hope it sticks. Well, what if you had a little conscious effort and when you did it, you were actually focused on hooking them in? The better question is, how do you focus to hook them in, right? So there's a couple different ways that you really want to think about this, okay? Number one, you really want to think about the camera angle. The camera angle that you have them in. Let's see, I kind of forget, how do I, okay, I could switch, right? Let me see if I can, I'm trying to remember how to switch the screen that I want to share. Do I just click on stop share and then reshare?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm gonna share. I want to, we're gonna go back to YouTube and talk about this hooking them in. All right. And how some of these channels are hooking us in. Okay. Okay, great. So as you can see, this is that Americlinics because I'm on their shorts because their shorts led me here, right? So I don't know these people. I have never looked them up before, never clicked on it. Right out of the gate, you can tell two different things. Well, one at least is right here. Okay, look at her head level. All right. She's not down at the bottom. She's not way at the top. She's almost right where the thumbs up is, right? That's a good angle. Now, what you may find too is now in this particular one, they're looking straight at the camera. Okay. But what about this one? Notice it didn't do as well as some of their other ones. Okay, this one was about the same, but notice something right away where her head is. That's the camera angle. Okay, if you don't have a picture of yourself that you want to use, well, maybe something flashing. It could be the words, just like those flashing words right at the top. That right there will help you hook them in. So it's key that you either focus on the camera angle or something that's going to be flashing, either words or it could be a transition that lights up. That's a flash, right? So that's one of the key ways that your shorts can hook them in as you're looking at this. Let's look at some other ones, okay? Look at where his face is next to that thumbs up again, right? And boom, right out of the way, right out of the gate, he's got the words on there. He's got text, and we're going to talk about text because that is going to be a big part of this, all right? But he's just talking to the camera. And we're going to get into length, but these are short. These are very short, right? Nothing to, let's go to someone else. Let's go to, let's talk about microphones. I'm just throwing stuff out there for streaming, okay? And we're going to click on shorts. Now, right out of the gate, look at where his face is at the very top, right? It's not, he still has some head space where he's got the words up there. I'm more of a fan of the words being at the top. I notice, and I've been guilty of this, but when you put words at the very bottom, on your mobile device, it has all these things over it. I find that very hard to read. But, in his case, look where he's putting all his visuals at on top. The best thing about this is it's less than 1 minute. It's literally less than 1 minute. Again, look at the head, right? So I think this is a key thing to help you understand. This will help hook them in right out of the gate. Okay, right out of the gate. So the next thing you want to be conscious of is the text involved in this. Okay, the text matters. This is key for pretty much all of the videos I've learned. Let me tell you, one of my biggest things that hurt me when I was putting up shorts just to see if they would stick was I wasn't really doing much, right? I even kind of lost a client because I didn't make sure that the person who was working on the video was really along the lines of what I'm teaching you tonight. Sometimes you have to go through the bumps and get through the bruises to come out on top. And this is what I've learned with this stuff. It's like you just got to keep digging in and digging in. And we're going to dive into that. But the text truly matters on this. Look, I mean, another one with text on it. Okay. Now, this one, you probably have to hear the music because there's no text on there. All right. But it doesn't take a genius to see what would attract a lot of people to this video. 3 million people and counting. Right. But this is what they do. They're a dance show. They have 390,000 subscribers. I bet you that video that has 3 million views brought in a lot of subscribers for this channel. Okay. Again, back to text, right? More text. You get my point? So putting up any type of content and not having I noticed something too, and not having text can really kind of hurt your channel. I'm living proof of that, but I learned through it. So just keep that in mind. Look at all these people I put in microphones for streaming and I clicked on it and it takes you to different ones according to your algorithm. We'll talk about that in a second. But again, she's head level. She's the words on there. So notice right out of the gate too, when I put my mouse over it, it starts playing right away. This is why those first 3 seconds are so important. Okay. So it's key that you keep in mind these texts. All right. After you've hooked them in, these words matter. All right. So in that, the next thing is you're either going to talk over it using voiceover or you're going to put music that makes sense. All right. So far, I've used a little of both. Okay. I've used voiceover where I'm talking about something while something is showing, or my last number of them, I just went and added music. All right. Because I started seeing something in my genre, true crime, or at least one of them. I do a couple different channels, but in the true crime one, I noticed that look at this stuff that's going viral. I can do that. Right. And here is I want to make sure that I'm looking dead at this camera as I'm saying this. All right. Now I had to go make sure I'm looking at, see what I'm seeing. But I'm putting it on camera. I will have viral content because I'm figuring out what YouTube wants. I'm figuring out what the audience wants because YouTube cares more about the audience than it does about your feelings. All right. Remember that. I'm telling you this January 7th on my brother's birthday, so it's easy to remember. I will have a lot of viral content and starting in 2024 because I figured out how to beat that system. Or as I like to say, beat that algorithm. Why am I so confident? Because it's quickly working when I started making these changes. Okay. So I think that it's key that I realize that I'm sharing the wrong screen with you. And that's on me. My apologies. But we were on the same spot. So with that, that's why you should keep conscious of making sure you're working on hooking them in. Those those words, they matter. They truly, truly matter. And use some type of voiceover or music. It really helps. And so I think that it's key that you understand that. Now let's talk about the length because the length of this really matters. All right. I can tell you, I'm watching someone who is, learning this YouTube shorts. It's pretty obvious. They're new into the video business world. They have a good handle because it was working for them. So I'm all for that. And so you can tell they're learning. If you're even a minute over on your YouTube shorts, it's no longer a shorts to YouTube. Yes, it's still short form content, but the way YouTube will show it is very unattractive because it's over 1 minute. So the length of your video matters. But I want to take it a step further. What real length? Just 1 minute, right? Let me just keep it under 1 minute. I would say at least on YouTube, the shorter, the better. All right. There's 3 different lengths that you can put this in. One, it could be 8 to 15 seconds. All right. does not have to be very long at all, as long as you quickly get your point across. And if whatever industry you're in, if you're educating them, if you're entertaining them, if you are edutaining them, whatever you can do it. If you can do it 8 to 15 seconds, that's key. And I'll explain to you after this second one. But the next one is 31 to 35 seconds, another sweet spot. Now, let me tell you something about YouTube Shorts. The majority of viral content on YouTube is between 1 and 2. So anywhere between 8 and 15 seconds and 31 to 35 seconds. The majority of YouTube shorts that go viral are between these two. All right. But you can still get great feed off of a video that is less than a minute. You can fit a lot in a minute. All right. A friend of mine, I've been kind of saying like, hey, look at what's going on in my channel. Look what's going on over here. Look what's going on over here. And he did a video. Kevin, I hope you're watching, buddy. He did a video, and it was I don't think it was his first short. I have to kind of ask him. I kind of forget, but I know for me, I really loved the way he did it, and it was an open box. It was an open box, right? His actual video was a little longer, but he did it also in a short. I don't know if he edited it into a short. I got to figure that part out. I got to ask him that. But he just did that right before there. And I was like, hey, you should jump on this live. I'm going to be sharing some tips that I think you'll find handy. And so I think that it's key to understand this with that, okay? The length is the most important part of this short. Without having if you have the wrong length, it can 100% affect your views, okay? Because a YouTube short is 60 seconds or under. 61 seconds, it's no longer a YouTube shorts, okay? And now it has these blocks next to it. It does not look good. So be conscious of that, okay? So how do you know if YouTube is going to push your content? How do you know? Well, the easiest way, and I've always said this about content in general. If you've checked out previous content that I've shared over the year and a half that we've had this channel, you will see that this has been something I've always talked about, because don't just put up content that you hope will stick. Here's the thing about YouTube Shorts, real quick, as I dive into that next part. But when you're diving into this, it's like, don't just put up content in hopes that it will stick. Okay? Again, if you're Mr. Beast, that's a different story, right? You could put up content, it's gonna stick because he's Mr. Beast, right? And I love Mr. Beast in the way that he said to Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, he put out a post and he's like, why don't you bring that content over to Twitter? Because he was just letting his followers know, like, hey, I just cut a new piece of content. And Elon commented himself, why don't you bring that content over here? And what did Mr. Beast said? Right now, and I'm going to sum it up. Right now, your revenue pays crap to YouTube, right? This is another reason why I'm all in with YouTube, because I truly believe that when it comes to this, even over TikTok, yes, I said it, I truly believe that YouTube Shorts should be a higher priority. And let me tell you, I'm putting my content on TikTok. I highly recommend you put it on TikTok. You don't have to be as careful about making it 1 minute. Okay, you can have it a little longer. I'm putting the same content I put up on YouTube today is at, I don't even remember, 2,000 views. I don't remember, 1,400 views. I don't know. We'll see it here in a second. But on TikTok, it's not as high. But guess what? On TikTok, it got more views right out of the gate, but then it slowed down. Whereas TikTok or YouTube was shorter, slower, but then it gained a little more momentum throughout the day. Same thing for the last one. And so I think it's key that you understand that don't just type in something. Here's the truth about YouTube Shorts. Your title and description They basically mean a hill of beans when it comes to shorts. What I just shared with you, that's how you help your content. Because then YouTube is going to go with the algorithm, which is always based on watch time. How far into the video? How far did they get in? Did they complete the video? Did they leave a comment? And it's based on what you watch and follow, right? If they're going to recommend it to you. So I think it's key that you understand that. So how do we know if they're going to push it out? Well, let's go take a quick look before we start wrapping this up. I think I'm doing decent on time. Okay, so you should see my back on. Okay, excellent. So, all right. If you're thinking about, I'm going to, let's see, shorts. Let's see I'm just going to try to find something that you can see they're going to recommend the big stuff, right? So you got to keep conscious of that too. Now, when you're going through this, I'm trying to find something that is, it's going to show me all these great things. Oh, they're moving quick. Okay, let's say I'm just going to throw something out there. Right now, you can see right out of the gate, I'm looking at titles and see if there's one that's probably not too well, but obviously they're showing me all the good stuff, right? And so, okay, now we're probably going to be getting somewhere. There we go. Let's see. No, I'm still seeing all the high stuff. Well, let's just make up something. Let's say we are creating an AI, right? And we're going to create a short out of it. And we do a search for spinach cartoon. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is say, okay, I'm thinking about naming this something along the lines of spinach cartoon and adding on some stuff. The first thing you want to ask yourself is, are people actually watching this stuff? Because if no one's watching it, YouTube is not going to push it out. And so when you think about it, I probably shouldn't pick something that's Popeye related, huh? Because he's all Popeye. Well, think about this. Let's get rid of that. Let's just do spinach. I don't need the quotes, but we'll keep it in there anyway. So if you just type in spinach, the chances of you actually standing out over spinach, you're not going to beat these guys, right? Unless you have a big channel. So you have to ask yourself, if I just put in spinach, how am I going to be competitive to all these people? But what if I do like that girl there, don't eat spinach? Okay. We know right out of the gate that might be some potential. All right. We see this, how to get rid of spinach or whatever it is. But you can look at the titles and okay, if I'm doing something on don't eat spinach, okay, this person's talking about it. Why I don't eat spinach? It always has been good. Spinach to your body, benefits. I can talk about it, but you can tell people are still using that title. Do not eat spinach. Raw, do not eat spinach. Okay, so let's try one other way with the quotes. Now, when you put in with the quotes, you're asking YouTube to do searches with these specific words together. Okay. And so you can see that you don't see that, right? You see more people talking positive about it. All right. Cooking with things, don't eat spinach. You can tell that only had 4 views. That's not good, right? Why we don't eat, and again, 181,000 subscribers, right? So if you were thinking about doing something like that, you might have to really think hard on it. This one a year ago, 543. That's not too great, right? 163, 16 years ago. You can see right out of the gate, that's not a good one to do it on. Okay. So it's key that you actually find some topics, do your due diligence. It doesn't even have to be that much. What if we want to talk about the MacBook Pro, right? I'm just throwing stuff out there. Obviously, if I'm going to shorts, which I should have did that with the don't eat spinach, but you can see right out of the gate, people are, this is content that YouTube will push out. But again, unless you're a big dog, MacBook Pro will be a little harder to rank for. So add in a few more words, right? So that is why I say make sure you check the search engines, that it's relevant and that YouTube will push it out. Because then once they push it out, then it's based on, okay, people watching it, push it out more. Are people engaging? Push it out more. I've noticed that. I've literally noticed that with my content. I noticed with the type of content when the weekend came, all of a sudden there was another big jump, right? Got to pay attention to these things. And it's very key. Let me check my screen. Okay. All right, good. I didn't lose anyone and go somewhere else. Okay. So real quick, as I'm gonna change screens again. Let me go back to over here, back to my slides. So make sure that you check the search engines to make sure that it's relevant. And when you're putting out those texts, all right, in the first 3 seconds of your content is the best place. Because again, as you saw, as I was putting the mouse over, it starts right away. That's a feature that they added, I don't know, not too long ago. I think in 2023 early, something like that. But it's key that those first 3, it also helps hook them in. All right. We didn't even talk about that as the hook, but that definitely hooks them in as well. Okay. And so because I'm running out of time, I'm going to start speeding this a little bit and keep conscious of that length of the video. I think that is a important tip that you cannot forget, even kind of a hack on making it. If you stick to number 1 and 2, all less than 35 seconds, you have a better chance of going viral. So isn't that what we want? Some more viral content. So it's key to remember that. And last but definitely not in the least, in reference to this, I do have a couple things I want to share with you real quick. But every time you keep working on this, you're working on getting better and better. All right. Because when something works, you got to ask yourself, what helped that thing work? And then try to get better. I don't like to say duplicate because I feel like I can only be a better version of myself. I can be a worse version of myself if I choose to, right? If I was that stupid. But I can only work on getting better and better. So my friends, as you dive into this, remember, you may not take off the first time. My gosh, if I waited to the first time, I wouldn't be here. Trust me. Videos, if I jumped on it early on when I had needed to gain the courage, life would be completely different, right? But I jumped in when I jumped in, and then I just got better. And it took me years to get better. So it's key to understand. So I wanted to share with you, as this is a work in progress. So a couple of videos that I put up very recent, okay? In this, you can see on January 4th, this video has over 9,000 views, 324 likes. This is me starting to follow the right process. Now, having words up, I've done those things, but there was some things I wasn't really conscious of that I started changing. So technically, I've had multiple videos over 2,000 views. I've had shorts hit 15,000 views. And again, we're focused on shorts. I've had a bunch on the other stuff too, but we're focused on shorts. But more importantly, why I say subscribers. So the video from January 4th, right? Over 9,000 views and 91 new subscribers to my channel. Okay, my channel is already monetized. Okay, so obviously, again, ultimately, for me, I have a voice, and I want to be a voice for the voice that can't speak in some ways, because as you know, I'm in true crime a lot. But I also have a voice, and I also love teaching, which is why I love what we do here at C3. And so when you stop and you think about it, look at my other one, okay? The 2,400 views, that's today, all right? The one at 9,000 views, the very first day, I didn't have 2,400 views. I'm telling you, I had a big bump over the weekend as well. You just never know when something's going to take off. But you never will know if you don't start. I mean, that's a no-brainer. This is a key statistic that, or should I say, analytic, that you want to pay attention to in your analytics. This is part of your YouTube studio. Whenever you go into your YouTube studio, you always see that little analytics. Again, if you're not focused on creating content, you probably haven't seen it yet, right? Otherwise, you're probably not going to even be here anyway. So you probably have an idea about this, but you probably didn't know to pay attention to this, because YouTube is now telling you how many chose to view, how many chose to swipe, right? Swipe away. Okay. When you are doing your shorts, you really want, and granted, I didn't hit the 70%. I'm okay with it because I'm still learning how to freaking knock the socks of my audience off, right? But 68% is good. If you could get 70 to 80% of viewed where it was on their timeline and they actually clicked on it to watch, and you're doing good. And this was the one, again, from January 4th. Today's, it always takes a couple of days to really get the analytics. So I'm not going to know about today's for a few days. But I think that it's key that you pay attention how many chose to view if you're going all in with shorts, as we are on C3. And so it's key that you keep in mind of how we're going to make this thing work, right? Well, look at your analytics, look at your content, look at what has worked, look at what hasn't worked, compare. Because if you have subscribers, they're already talking to you. If you don't have subscribers, keep getting better. They will come. I'm a firm believer. When I focused on a different channel and I said to myself, I'm going all in, I'm going to do what I know I need to do. Boom, right out of the gate, I got 100 new subscribers, right? Then before you know it, another 100 few subscribers. So it's key to understand that first, you got to prioritize it and then keep going. So, my friends, that's what I have for you tonight. Let me stop my share there. And I definitely look forward to what Dory and Kevin have to say about that. Am I crazy? Did I hit a button or two or no? Let me know. What do you guys think?
Well, I'll start it off, and yet another wonderful, engaging, and very useful piece of content from Manny. It's yeah, definitely got the wheels turning, and I am 100% guilty of what you were saying, is just throwing up content and hoping it'll stick. Not doing that proper research to find out what actually is working out there, and then transforming that content into what actually is working. I've done some basic shorts before, and yeah, I do get a few views, but definitely not as many as, like you're saying, how many that you get, and then hopefully some of those views will transcribe over to subscribers to your channel to continue watching. So I definitely have written quite a few notes here about what what I need to do, just personally. But I did have a couple of questions while you were going through your presentation, and one of the ones that I had was, for the shorts. Um, do you suggest putting links to other content in there, or just referencing people to go back to your channel to look up a lot of that other additional content that you may be talking about?
So I highly recommend having a way to push another video. So what I do with each of my YouTube short, I put the I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called, but tag, and where you can put another, you can link to another video. It's like an end card, and there's a card at the beginning. So on YouTube Shorts, you'll see at the bottom where, if you go to any of mine, you'll see where it's like it's recommending another video. So literally, highly recommend if there's something you want to push to, you can even be creative on the video pointing down below because YouTube is already prompting it to go. Like because you said go to this video. So with me, if mine is having to do with a police chase, I'm going to have it go to another police chase, right? Maybe that was grab their attention. So now that's going to feed to another one. But if it's basically like, okay, I have the long form content that I definitely want to get, more views on, 100% take that short and have, do whatever to say, to see the full story. Because truth is, depending on what you're teaching, you probably need more than a minute, right?
Yeah.
I, you know, the one thing I can say is that you can build a YouTube channel on shorts if that's the person you want to be. But I truly believe long form content is still where the moneymaker is.
Okay. No, that totally makes sense. And yeah, I 100% agree with that. Another question that I had was a lot of the things that you were referring to on shorts and actually creating it has to do with doing it on your computer. Is there much of a difference of a process in terms of creating stuff on a mobile device versus a computer to help grow your audience?
So you raise a great question, and if you kind of remember with you, I did that training with the YouTube Edit app, and that's their new way. And if I'm understanding your question right, the whole purpose of them bringing that app is really so you can perform, you can create shorts a lot faster, have music, have cuts, have transitions, however you want to do it. That was one of the main reasons they wanted, like, we want you to use shorts. We want you to cut up your content and put shorts out there. I personally still find it a lot easier for me. Again, I'm not a techie guy to use the computer. I keep asking myself, my gosh, time would help me so much if I can just be a whiz and just because I ask myself, what can I create so fast? And again, my creative juices, to me, I don't find them to be as creative as others. Like Dory's vision for things is I wish I can visualize things the way she does, right? For me, I work within my comfort zone, but the back of my mind, I keep thinking to myself, my gosh, how can I freaking be creative and use that YouTube app because I am an Android user and it is for Android. And how can I use it and whip out content that much faster? Did you see that Android plug?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was just kind of curious because I'm sure a few of our viewers, they are watching on mobile devices and some of them may not even have a computer to be able to do a lot of those changes. So just wanted
Yeah.
to say that, yeah, yes, you can grow an audience using just mobile devices as well. So all the
Especially if you're on
tools,
an Android
yeah.
because of that one app. But let's be honest. I mean, you guys are iPhone users. I'm sure there's apps, right? There's editing apps, right? No?
I'm not
Oh.
I'm an Android
Oh,
100%
okay,
through and
okay,
through.
okay. Sorry. And iPhone. I can't, in very few times am I in a room that has more Android users than iPhone. Very few times.
So those are all the
Is
Ah,
questions
the
that
editing
I
app,
had.
Dory? Oh, sorry.
So those are the questions that I had, and I'll let Dory head on over and ask a few of her responses to that presentation. But once again, great job, Manny.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think probably the biggest takeaway that I had was that you don't have to fill 60 seconds of content. I really was very intrigued with the statistic that you gave, that you said that the viral content, I made sure I typed
Mm-hmm.
this out. The majority of viral shorts are either in that 8 to 15-second
Mm-hmm.
band or the 31 to 35-second band. And I am now feeling incredibly guilty because if I cannot find 8 seconds of worthwhile content to put out there, then I have zero business being in this room, in this business, or on this stream with you guys. So I have now officially been shamed into Yep.
That's a classic one right there. We got to save that and put it in our bloopers.
Officially been shamed into that. Um, but I like how you broke down, like, reminding people that, okay, titles and descriptions aren't as important as still bringing that really powerful hook and still bringing like that first solid 3 seconds, because I noticed YouTube moved to that autoplay a while back, and the fact that they're doing it on long form and on their shorts, you have to keep that in mind. The first impression that you give visually and vocally is going to make people stay, whether it's 8 seconds, 8 minutes, whatever. So those are really key takeaways that I had. And, I want to echo Kevin's sentiment that I think you did a great job of breaking it down. Um, I did notice we had our Miles was hanging with us tonight, and he was talking a lot about some of the things that he does with short form and long form content, actually. Um, and one of the things that I wanted to point out that he said was that he does number 4 a lot. And number 4 happened to be your statement of practice to get better and
Mhm.
better and better. And here's someone who is getting a lot of views on his platforms in both short form and long form content. And he just needs to remind himself that it's always about making one video better than the previous. And so I just thought that was really powerful, um,
Love it. Thank you
to
so
to
much on
point
that
out.
one.
So,
Thank you, Miles. I'm with
um,
you there, bud.
but I thought it was, great all around. But there were some very key takeaways for me. So, any other final parting words from either of you two gentlemen?
I'm
Yeah,
good. Thank
I
you.
just I just loved it, like you said, Dory, that 8 to 15 seconds and the 31 to 35. And that's definitely something that I'm going to be using going forward. So you've definitely inspired me, Manny, to get off my butt and start creating those 8 seconds, because I don't want to be shamed like Dory.
Hey, you got so many gadgets. How about those open boxes for you guys, man? You got the coolest gadgets ever. I get jealous.
I would totally do some open box videos for sure. But I think we're gonna kick it back over to Manny for some parting thoughts.
My friends, thank you so much for joining me today. If it's one thing I have found is that short form content is where it's at. It's been actually trending for a couple years now, and it hasn't even slowed down yet. With that being said, I want to take you back to September 17th, 2023, where I did a video on how you can create bulk content in minutes using Canva and ChatGPT, which we do Canva all the time. You just saw my presentation, right? I used Canva. So having that with ChatGPT and talking about creating this short form content and being able to bust out massive amount of content in a matter of minutes, and then you have a lot of short form content. This is just one of the ways to help you produce content that much quicker. So someone will be posting that link below, or you could just go to September 17th of 2023, where I shared with you exactly what you can do to create all that content for yourself. On to you, Dory.
If you enjoy content like this and are finding it useful, we would love it if you would like and subscribe. Sharing our content is also a great way to spread the love. Visit our website for information on all the ways you can connect with us. It is right on over there. It is linktree/content creators connect. We are on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Drop down into the comments below and let us know what kind of content you would like to see from us in the future.
And thank you for joining Content Creators Connect, also known as C3 tonight, as we saw Maddie give us an overview of how to gain more subscribers using YouTube Shorts. We will return next Sunday at same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, where I'll be talking about crafting your 2024 roadmap. We will be multicasting to YouTube, Facebook, and X. So make sure to join us. Until then, we urge you to identify and lean into your 3 C's. Start today creating unique content that builds connections and breaks down those barriers. See you next week.
Bye bye. Thanks for joining.
Bye.